One of my favorite lists to compile is this list right here, my top 10 designer list for seasonal based. It's always winter. These are fragrances from the designer game that are a little darker, a little more resinous, a little more edgy, sometimes a little challenging. And these are the ones that I absolutely love wearing. So let's get into the list. Let's take a look at my top 10. What's going on, YouTube Fragrance family? Welcome to my winter top 10 designer list for the year 2017. I'm finally caught up, boys. I know that you've received a lot of top 10 seasonal lists from me in the past few weeks, but finally I am caught up now. Now I can focus on to the spring, which is coming up. So this list, as I said in the introduction, one of my favorite lists to compile. We got some new ones. We'll see if Amber Blend from Davidoff can hold on to a #1 spot 2 years in a row. We'll see. And of course, we got some old favorites too, as usual. So for me, my lists are not all 2017, 2018 releases. It kind of sounds like a commercial. My list are, of course, my personal taste, and I always have old favorites, and maybe the list kind of gets stale from year to year, but it is what it is. And I have to let you guys know I do go to old favorites from time to time, so you're going to see a lot of familiar faces on this list. So let's get into it. At number 10 from the house of Yves Saint Laurent, YSL makes some pretty good dark juices. Especially we got a few from YSL here. We got a back-to-back actually. One of my favorite lineups from YSL for winter and fall is the La Nuit lineup. I really like the La Nuit lineup, and this is part of it. And the original La Nuit is beautiful, but this one also is, I wouldn't say underrated, but it just didn't get the press that I thought it was going to get. I really like this one. And see you later. And this is La Nuit de l'Homme L'Intense by YSL. And this one is good juice for me. A great use of tonka bean here. You got that sweetness. We got some florals here, but the blend itself is what sells me on this one. We got some iris and some violets in here. A little dab of vanilla here to help with the sweetness. Some patchouli. Of course, the iris is fairly dominant in this fragrance. I really like the blend on this one. It reminds me of a Dior Homme blend. Not as high-end, but very, very close. The blend very nicely done. The performance is okay. It's not the best. And when people look at, a fragrance with the name Intense, they're just like, oh, yeah, this thing is just going to blow the walls off. Well, no, it doesn't. It really doesn't. But it's very, very good as far as performance for me. Best worn dressed up, but you can wear it casually too. Great for dates. It has that air of sexuality that the La Nuit de l'Homme lineup, really a lot of them have. The original pulls kind of people towards you, and this has that kind of depth to it and that warmness and that coziness, and people just like to gravitate towards these fragrances. And this one, compliment getter, yeah. This one and the original always, and the Parfum version too, really do get a lot of compliments. So at number 10, YSL La Nuit Intense. At number 9, staying with YSL, and this one is, man, little bit of old school right here. Beautiful, beautiful set. This is M7. And again, my lists are going to have discontinued fragrances. We're all frag heads here. I'm not here to sell you a fragrance. It's not in stores, no. But as a frag head, I highly recommend this stuff. If you're really into fragrances, M7 for designers, M7's good. Again, M7 from YSL, it's never in with the new, out with the old. I love having my list, a little bit of flavor to them, some discontinued fragrance, some older fragrances that are released in the 90s or 80s, whatever. It doesn't matter. M7 has always been, to me in my eyes, to my nose, classic in the fragrance game. YSL's best men's release, arguably, not sales-wise, but for a fragrance head, this stuff is simply outstanding. The designer oud, that is your staple for designer ouds. Any brand that's thinking of releasing an oud should be looking at this stuff. Great stuff. M7 from YSL at number 9. At number 8, talking about discontinued fragrance, and this is from a brand that nobody talks about. Why? Because, well, they axed their whole freaking men's lineup. And, oh, this stuff is good. And I remember, not that I hyped this up, but I did say when I reviewed this, and when I first started my YouTube channel, I'm like, guys, you got to get your nose on this one. I like this one. Again, the quality here is not high end. It's from Escada. Escada is known for fun, fruity fragrances, not really the greatest quality of a scent, and you guys know me, quality is important. But then sometimes some fun, fruity fragrances just have to be there. And this has an air of darkness to it. And this one made the list last year at number 20. I had a top 20 list for this winter. And this one creeps in sometimes, and this is Magnetism for Men. The purple bottle of the fragrance game. And this one, Magnetism for Men, the best masculine from the brand, hands down, personally for me. Sadly discontinued, yes. Nothing smells like this in the game currently. It has like a grape vanilla cola kind of vibe. I used to dub it the Dr. Pepper of the fragrance game. Solid projection longevity with this one. Great for nighttime, casual use, jeans and a shirt like this, a button up. You don't need the tie. It has some balsamic qualities to the fragrance too, but definitely the Dr. Pepper, the fragrance game, a very interesting scent. Just a playful scent that I love wearing from time to time. Walking around the house or just going out in the cold weather. I'm going to the mall, going to the movies, things like that. Just casual use. This one, their best men's release, in my personal opinion. At number 8, Magnetism for Men. At number 7, from the house of Christian Dior. They did well. They got two fragrances in this top 10. Dior's quality, to me, I think is the best designer brand currently right now. They're running the game. And at number 7, this is from their Dior Homme lineup, and what a lineup. Who cares about Sauvage? I know, top seller, who cares? The Dior Homme lineup, oh, worth the money. And this one, at number 7, DHP, Dior Homme Parfum. I'm a huge DHI guy. DHI made it in last year's list. DHI like crushes these lists in the fall and winter. I'm not going to lie. I love DHI. It's my favorite from the DH lineup. But DH is also very good. The original, that iris is beautiful. But Dior Homme Parfum, great stuff. Any real Dior Homme lineup or fragrance release is, I can almost say it's a can't miss for me. The DNA of these fragrances is just quality. And that is the one word to describe these DH fragrances is quality. And that's huge for me. DHP emphasizes that leather a little bit more, and that's good. I love leather-based fragrances, and this one does it. It still has that iris, but also has a nice creamy sandalwood also, but it still has that sexiness, that playfulness a little bit, but it's also very dressed up, almost like a tuxedo in a bottle. And DHI also is a tuxedo in a bottle. It's just a high-end designer, and that's what, you know, if you're looking for a designer fragrance, a lot of designer fragrances are approximately around $100 now retail. This is actually worth the $100. The quality is there. It really kills a lot of fragrances that are around $100 as far as quality goes. Again, it may not be your taste, but the quality is there. DHP at number 7, and I don't think it's made a list, at least not this high on my channel. So it has a small dent here. I am testing it out. Full review coming in. I have reviews on this one and this one already on my channel, so go check those out. At number 7, DHP. At number 6, let's move on. Let's keep on moving. From the house of Hugo Boss. Hugo Boss to me is, you're talking Boss bottled or you're not talking to me at all. that's the way I am. Boss bottled, of course, I grew up with that stuff. It was a signature scent for me for a few years. This one right here is the flanker to that one. And I think personally, I like this one. I know I got sentimental feelings for the Boss bottled, but this one I think is a superior scent. Beautiful. It made it the list. It made the list last year at number 14. Of course, it was a top 20 that year, but it moves up to number 6 this year, and this is Boss Bottled Oud. Boss Bottled Oud with the green apple. And the green apple in this fragrance, and again, it has apple in the original Boss Bottled, but it pops like hell in this one. Beautiful green apple. Again, it does fade. It's the introduction, but the Oud and the apple work so well together. Well blended. One of the best, if not the best, fragrance from the house of Hugo Boss, masculine. The oud in here is not too heavy. It's just perfect. There's spices in here too. Again, just perfect. The blend's outstanding. Just an excellent blend. I just can't go, you can't go wrong with this one. A beautiful oud-based fragrance. And I know this is your staple, but this has done its job at number 6 from the house of Hugo. All right, now at number 5, we have another Christian Dior fragrance, and this is not from the DH lineup. This is from the Sauvage lineup, and she's nice. I love how it tippy-toes into fresh but also dark. I love scents like this that are kind of in the middle of everything. In this one, myrrh makes it what it is. This one, of course, Sauvage Parfum. I really, really like this one. Sauvage Parfum, the myrrh in this one is the star of the show. It has that original DNA from Sauvage. It pulls quite a bit, actually, from the original Sauvage. And Sauvage is a typical masculine, classic vibe. And this one kind of gives it a spin to it. It makes it a little more modern, makes it a little darker, more interesting in my personal opinion, and simply great in these Canadian winters. It has a touch of fresh notes that works so well with the darker notes. I wear this sometimes even at work. When the snow is on the ground, this one has just enough warming quality, but also has that work appeal from the original Sauvage that you can wear daily. It also has some edge that you can wear it at night too, but also just a great scent. Sauvage Parfum, good one. At number 4 from the house of Gucci, and this one made my fall list. Not gonna lie, I wore this pretty much straight through these colder months, and this is Gucci Intense Oud. And again, last year it made the list. It was actually number 2. So it doesn't fall too much at number 4. Don't call it a comeback for Gucci, but call it a comeback. Gucci's back on the map. Resinous amber here, good leather, good oud. There's some push to this fragrance. It's very interesting. The blends well. Longevity and projection is very good. I can wear it during the day at work. It doesn't really offend. But also it has interesting notes for the nighttime too. Perfect for winter. At number 4, Gucci Intense Oud. At number 3, we got a staple here. It made at number 3 last year on the list. This is a fragrance that is not scared to be on this list. I think it's been on this list since 2009. So, you know, you guys are probably, if you've been with me for that long, you know my taste, and you know this one is a gem, and this is from TM A Men. Well, A Men, what can I say? She's built for winter. It's gourmand, it's dark, it's complex, it's daring. Longevity and projection is probably the biggest pusher out of this whole list. Yeah. It's not for the faint of heart, and it's simply outstanding. I can't even say any more of this fragrance. Just a classic scent. Which is still modern to this day, and that's, you know, it's been released back in the 90s, so that's saying a lot for A Men. I love it. At number 3. At number 2, going classic again, going something that was released in the 80s. Yeah, that's right. From the house of Chanel. Yeah, that's right. And no, it's not Bleu de Chanel. Oh, this stuff is the anti-Chanel. That's what I call it. Anti-use pour homme eau de toilette. So this one, you know, the anti-Chanel, it was number 4 last year, moves up to number 2, and it has been number 1 on my list before. This is made for winter. It's daring. It's not a safe scent. Hell no. Sauvage and Bleu de Chanel lovers, you guys get out of the way right now. This is a man's juice right here. It's the anti-Chanel Chanel. Anything that has been released by Chanel in the past like 20, 25 years, this is not what you're going to come to expect. So if you are a big fan of Bleu de Chanel and Sauvage by Christian Dior, you guys go smell this. And then you come back to me because you just grew some chest hair. But anyway, animalic, woody, beautiful composition, great blend. It really is a beautiful scent. Antheus, always vying for that number 1 spot. And I still need to review this stuff. Amazing. At number 2. At number 1, something a little more released in the past 5 years. Yeah, a newer fragrance. And this one was, well, number 1 last year, number 1 this year. Back to back. I love this blend line from Davidoff, and this one right here, Amber Blend. comes back for the crown. 2 years in a row. Congratulations to Davidoff with their blend line. Leather blend is simply agar blend. There really are, it's a good series from Davidoff. Now, the push on these fragrances, not the best. You're not going to get 10 plus hours like you're going to get with these guys, but at the same time, you are getting really a solid fragrance. This one, I call it the Cinnamon Toast Crunch of the fragrance game. It really just has that cereal-like feel to the fragrance, but it has a sprinkle of cinnamon on it. It's got a little bit of nutmeg too, and it makes the scent what it is. The spices make what this scent, great amber too. Again, Cinnamon Toast Crunch of the fragrance game. Amber blend, great stuff. My number one, hanging on to the number one spot 2 years in a row. And that's it. That's my winter list. I want to thank all of you that have tuned in. Come check out my fragrance reviews and all that. And of course, my top 10 list here. Always comment below. You have any suggestions? What do you think about the list? Things like that. I'm always up for some comments too. If you have any questions, spit them down below and I'll try to help you out as much as I can. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.